In this video you will learn to use Python methods. We're going to need to use a method to add to-dos to a list, because currently in our program all we do is get the to-do from the user and then we print out that to-do, and that's all. We are not storing the to-dos in a list. So I will delete these and add some code here which stores to-dos in a list. You remember we did have some code previously where we wrote a list. We created a list using brackets, and then inside we added to-do 1, to-do 2, and so on. So now of course we don't have to-do 1s and to-do 2s. We don't have those variables. We have a to-do variable. So to-do is one variable, to-dos is another variable, two different variables. To-do now is added to the to-dos list. So let's print out to-dos in here and see what we get. Run, enter to-do, clean, throw. So this is the output we get. Let's try to analyze this to understand the problem. So while true executes this line first, so we get that output. The user enters clean, and clean goes inside the list. So to-dos list is created, and then it is printed out. So we print out to-dos here. So currently we have only the clean string inside that list. So far so good. Then the loop goes back again to the first line of the loop. It executes again input, so we get this prompt again. We entered throw, and then the second line is executed. To-dos is equal to that list. What happens here is that this variable will override the existing to-dos variable. So the list we had with clean inside is overwritten by another list with throw inside. So this entire line here overrides that existing list, and so we print out that new list with throw inside. So obviously this here is not the solution. We want to delete that. What we want to do is first create a list outside the loop. To-dos is equal to this empty list. So Python will execute the first line, it creates this string, it creates an empty list, and then goes to the loop. It asks the user for input. The user enters a to-do, and then we append that to-do in the to-dos list, in that list. And we print out the to-dos list. So let's rerun the code. Enter to-do, clean, throw, meet. So that's the list. As you see, the list is being populated with items in every iteration of the loop. So the program is working pretty well. We want to improve it further, of course, and we'll do that in the next videos. But now let's focus on the syntax we used here. You see this dot, and then this keyword is coming after that dot. This is a method. So methods are like functions. You see this function has this parenthesis and an argument, and the method also has parentheses and arguments, but methods are attached to data types, to other objects. In this case, this append method is part of this to-dos variable. Actually, it is not part of the variable, it is part of the object associated with that variable. In this case, the object is a list. You see, it's a list type. And every object has its own methods. So, for example, if you want to access the append method of the to-do, this variable is associated with a string. not a list. So if you try to apply append to that string, you're gonna get an error. Let's try this. Rerun. Enter a to do. So now we are here at this point. So Python has not yet reached the point where this append line is executed. So enter a to do like clean, press enter, and you see that is an error. It tells you where the error occurred. So line 7 is this one in here. In PyCharm you can also just click that to go directly to line 7, so that's a convenience. And so the cursor is in line 7 now. You also get the line printed out in here, which has the error to do.append, and then this is a type of the error, attribute error. str object, so str is the type of object, the data type that to do is associated with. So to do is associated with an str, with a string object, and so an object has no attribute append. So methods are also referred to as attributes. So a string does not have that append method. That's why we get this error. So how do we fix this error? Well, this is based on our experience as a programmer. The error cannot be fixed automatically by Python. So you have to take a decision, because Python here, the interpreter which interprets our code, is confused. So it doesn't make sense to append something to a string. It does make sense to append something to a list, but not to a string. A string could have different methods, such as capitalize. Let's see what will happen now. Enter to do, clean. I'll use a lowercase string now. Press enter. So clean was printed out by this, but we didn't get any printout from this. So let me remove to-dos, print to-dos, and execute again. You see, again, we will not get any printout. Why? Well, because we haven't used a print function. So if you want to see output, you want to use a print function. As you see now, I put this entire expression inside the parentheses of the print function. Now if I execute this, enter to do clean, we will get clean with an uppercase C. So this method capitalizes the first letter of a string and it returns the string with the first letter capitalized. So as you see, the difference between methods and function is that, you know, functions, if this was a function, which is not, it would get that to do as an input in here. It would be capitalized to do inside, but this is not the case. And that is what makes a method a method. So a method refers to an object using that dot notation. And methods can also take arguments. So how do you know what arguments can a method take? And how do you know what methods you can apply to strings and what methods you can apply to lists? How do you know what arguments you can pass to a function? So these are all questions which I'll answer. I'll give you the technique to answer all these questions by yourself, so you can find the code you need by yourself. You'll see the list of methods you can apply to list, and you'll see all the methods available for list. You'll see all the methods that Python has available for string and so on. And I'll show you all that information in the video programming tool or concept of the day. So there is where you learn how to find the code you need. And here we end this video, so thanks a lot. See you.